I was having your boy Rico from Street Scores, and a lot of random news just came out within like the past couple of hours. And instead of farming for views and making each of these topics a separate video in itself, I want to just go ahead and knock these out. We're going to put them all in one video, 3 major talking points, because I'm trying to get back to this mock draft. I've been working on this mock draft since last night all the day, but something always happens and I got to stop to record the video to report on that. Like Adam Peters, them announcing that he signed for 5 years. That was big time. Had to go ahead and break that down, and I've been working on this mock draft, and then suddenly these three things happen. So I'm still working on the mock draft. Maybe it'll come out tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, but either way, Adam Peters is scheduled to have his first press conference tomorrow, as in January 16th, which is a Tuesday at 2 p.m. I'm super excited, man. But we've also had some words from him come out in a statement via the Washington Commanders official account, basically about accepting the GM position for the next 5 years. I'm gonna read that to you and break down whatever we get from that. And of course, I'm gonna do a full breakdown of his press conference once he does that at 2 p.m. Hopefully I'll be able to get that video out to y'all depending on how long the press conference is soon afterwards. Also, USC quarterback Caleb Williams is officially declared for the draft, but as far as the Commanders go, he is now working with a quarterbacks coach that is strongly connected to Adam Peters. Does this increase our chances of us potentially going to go get a Caleb Williams in this draft? Maybe staying put and he lands to us at 2nd overall, or do we get aggressive and trade to the number 1 overall pick to secure that guy right there? Also, the Washington head coaching odds have increased for Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator, once again. But not just him. Bobby Slowick has moved up a little bit, and he is now in 2nd place. Ben Johnson still has a big gap from 1st to whoever's in 2nd right now. Bobby Slowick, like it's been the whole entire time. But these odds increase, it seems like, every couple of days. So is it like worth putting some real money on that and basically betting, yeah, Ben Johnson will be our next coach? We're going to definitely weigh the factors on that in this video as well. But before we dive into everything that I just previewed, make sure you stiff arm that like button, stiff arm the subscription button, and stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Again, be on the lookout because I'm working on an Adam Peters themed and ran mock draft. A little bit of Rick Spielman influence in there as well, but it's basically going to be centered around a lot of the new people that we brought into this organization, mostly Adam Peters because he's gonna have the biggest say in it. So we're gonna do a dive into how Adam Peters may potentially draft players for us with a mock draft, especially his hand in a lot of those later round draft picks, how he found a lot of his gems for the 49ers. We're gonna try to find the same thing for the Commanders in day 3 picks as well, rounds 4 through 7. But we're doing all 7 rounds, 1st round, 2nd round, all of that type of stuff, all 9 picks, so stay tuned for that. But let's go ahead and get to this video right now. That's a later issue. Let's get to it. Let's get it. All right, so as expected, one of the top prospects for the 2024 NFL draft has officially entered the NFL draft. He has officially thrown his name in there. Today was the deadline, like the strict deadline. You have to officially declare for the draft. Even if you don't make an announcement yourself like how he did on his social media, your name has to be in there and submitted for the NFL by today. If you don't, you can't declare. They don't care about how much of a star you are. Even if you are Caleb Williams, potentially the number 1 overall pick, today was the deadline. Now, there's a lot of speculation as to why he waited till the very last day, like within a few hours of the strict deadline. I'm not going to dive into that because it's all over the place. You look on Twitter, you see at least like 30 different theories right now. Of course, some of them include maybe he doesn't want to go to the Bears, and maybe he knows something about the Commanders may get aggressive about getting them. Maybe he wanted to wait until Adam Peters was hired. There's all kinds of theories out there. I'm not going to dive into that, especially not right now, but maybe not ever. But either way, USC quarterback will now go to the NFL draft, and I'm super excited because, first of all, he could have just stayed and accepted a ridiculous amount of NIL money. Like that, I don't know if y'all have seen the picture in his penthouse. He has a penthouse in LA with a beautiful view. Like, it's not even like he's a struggling college student or anything. That man was making millions in college. He could probably have made even far more if he would have went back another year. But he's ready to enter the NFL, and that's a good decision in my opinion. Another good decision, at least from the Commanders' perspective, is that he is out here working with the QB coach very, very close to the Washington Commanders. QB coach Rich Scangarello. The exact tweet that came out was Tom Pelissero tweeting, potential number 1 overall pick Caleb Williams has already begun pre-draft training run by former NFL quarterback coach Rich Scangarello, whom he met years ago through the @QB Collective. Getting ready to hit the ground running as a pro. And there's a few clips in there and one picture, but it's nothing very noteworthy. I mean, the footwork looks pretty clean. He looks pretty fast, but I mean, he doesn't even have a shirt on, let alone pads and a helmet or anything. No cleats, no nothing. It doesn't look like. So, you know, of course he looks smooth. He better look smooth with no pass rush coming at him. So it's not much to really take from that. I wouldn't even advise y'all to go try to find that tweet just to go look at those clips. Really, honestly, not even worth your time. But again, the most important news is that he's working with the QB's coach that's very much so attached to Adam Peters from their time together in the 49ers in San Francisco. Because at one point in time, Rich Scangarello was the QB's coach for the 49ers for 2017 and the 2018 seasons. Then he left, did some other things, and then he came back in 2021. His most recent job, though, was the offensive coordinator and QB's coach for Will Levis and the Kentucky Wildcats. Not the best job it seems like he's done there, but maybe he could do a great job with Caleb Williams. And I'm pretty sure Adam Peters had at least some say in the fact that Scangarello was a QB's coach for the 49ers for a few years. I mean, 2 years in a row, left for a couple of years, and then came back another. So maybe Adam Peters likes this guy. Maybe he trusts him. And if this guy is coaching up Caleb Williams starting today as of January 15th, maybe even sooner than that, preparing him all the way up till April, we'll get, of course, like the combine, pro days, and things like that. But you never know, man. Maybe Adam Peters trusts this guy enough to where him coaching Caleb Williams increases our chances of going to go get Caleb Williams. Now, moving on from that, not much else to really speculate there to dive into too much. Also, Ben Johnson's odds to becoming the next head coach for the Washington Commanders have officially increased again. This is like the third increase. This is like the fourth time I've updated y'all on these odds. He was already number 1 at one point, then it went up, and now it's gone up for officially a third time. On the fourth time they've released these odds. So Ben Johnson's a negative 140 odds right now. The most by far, most likely. It's not even close, because second place is Bobby Slowick at plus 300. Then you have Jim Harbaugh plus 600, Bill Belichick plus 650, and then Mike McDonald plus 900, Eric Bieniemy 12-1, and it just keeps going on and on and on after that. My dog Shane Waldron over there is at the very bottom, but it's interesting that his name is being included, because we may not want to bring him in as an official head coach title, like something that high up, but like an offensive coordinator. If we go with a defensive-minded head coach, Shane Waldron will be a home run hire as an offensive coordinator, in my opinion. And also, let's go ahead and scratch off Bill Belichick. For some reason, he's fourth on this list, but like I said, from all of the reports I've already seen and heard from everybody, including John Com, they're not even saying us hiring Bill Belichick as a head coach is unlikely. No, it's literally just not going to happen. Like, literally not going to happen, to the point that I would bet money that Bill Belichick is not going to be our head coach. So you can go ahead and move Mike McDonald from 5th place to 4th place, honestly. Also, you might as well just go ahead and scratch Eric Bieniemy off as well, because I already highly doubt he'll even stay here as an offensive coordinator. But I'm willing to put my life savings on the line with the fact, with all the reports I've heard and everything, that Eric Bieniemy will not be the Washington Commanders' next head coach. For sure not getting a promotion over here. Highly doubt it. And again, like I said several times before, just in case, just to reiterate, Bob Myers and Adam Peters both went to UCLA together. That was a smart chess move by Josh Harris, so that probably helped us potentially bring in Adam Peters as a GM. And then with Ben Johnson, Josh Harris hired Rick Spielman to be a part of his consultant group to, as far as how to rebuild this franchise the right way. His brother is a top executive for the Lions right now, so there goes that chess move, smart connection to Ben Johnson right there. Plus, we've heard reports from sources behind the scenes that Ben Johnson is also our favorite target, our top target. And also, I remember a report saying that the Commanders will go all in on getting Ben Johnson as their head coach and probably offer him a big bag and a lot of control just to make sure it happens. But I ain't gonna lie, man, especially when it comes to QB development, like a rookie quarterback and getting instant success out of him, especially a quarterback taking number 2 overall specifically, which would be our case as well. I'm not gonna lie, Bobby Slowick is starting to creep up to my number one choice, man. I'm super happy out of the way between Slowick, Ben Johnson, or Mike McDonald. Those are my top 3 choices. But Slowick is starting to creep up to number one, especially after that playoff game he had against that elite Browns defense. That was one of the best, most well game plan defensive performances I've seen all season, regular season, playoffs from anybody. I already did a breakdown on all of that in my Bobby Slowick video that I came out with like Saturday night soon after that game. If you want to go check that out, because I break down like exactly what he did and how he was able to torch one of the best pass defenses in the NFL, arguably the best pass defense in the NFL, in the Cleveland Browns, man. He's a genius. He's starting to really creep up to my number one, but that doesn't mean I would not be extremely excited about getting Ben Johnson either. I would be super excited about all 3, but with Mike McDonald, of course, we still got to worry about who's going to do the offensive side of things. And again, my boy Shane Waldron from the Seahawks would probably be my number one candidate there if we brought in a Mike McDonald. Now moving on, the last topic of the day. The Commanders have officially announced that there will be a press conference in Ashburn tomorrow, January 16th at 2 p.m. for Adam Peters, our newly hired GM, assistant 49ers GM, to now the Washington Commanders full-blown GM, completely going to control, or at the very least have the majority of the power on the football side of things. He will have a press conference at 2 p.m. to finally give his initial thoughts and answer all initial questions that we have for him. And JP Finley brings up a great point. I mean, this Adam Peters intro presser tomorrow in Ashburn, with how much of a clean slate this is and how much power he's going to have, this thing can go so many directions. There's so much to consider. This is going to be very fun. I mean, there's so many questions you can ask him. Everything is starting over. Head coach, everything, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, draft strategy, free agency strategy, cap space, literally everything that pertains to an organization. This all open game for that boy Adam Peters, man. I hope he's ready to answer those questions. If there's anybody that I believe in to be able to handle those questions and give the right answers and say the right things, I think it's him, man. Because I think I don't think he needs to even come like fully prepared with like a speech or a set few answers where he's like coached up or anything like that to say certain things. I think he's going to be 100% genuine, and what he genuinely wants to do for this franchise and what he has planned is going to get all of us excited. He doesn't even have to overthink it, I don't think. Also, in my opinion, even if that press conference ends up being 4 hours long, I'm watching the whole thing. I'm super excited about it, man. I ain't gonna lie. And of course, I will do a video breaking down everything he says. So after that press conference ends, be on the lookout for a Street Scores notification, because I will definitely be doing a full breakdown of everything he says, whether it comes to quarterback, number 2 overall pick, draft, free agency, cap space, unrestricted free agents who are currently not on the team that were starters last year. Like, do you plan on re-signing guys like Curtis Samuel, Kendall Fuller, Cameron Curl, Khaleke Hudson, on and on and on, Antonio Gibson? All of those things, man, I'm gonna have it fully broken down for y'all. We'll see. Depending on how long his press conference is, will depend on how long my video is. My video might end up being an hour long if the press conference has enough material to break down. And then also Adam Peters, I felt like y'all would want to know, because I also wanted to know as well. He's already given an official statement through the Washington Commanders that they put out there. So here are his first words as the Commanders GM. We don't get to hear his voice say it, but it's well written. I am incredibly grateful to Josh Harris and the Washington Commanders ownership group for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I love that. My family and I are thrilled for the chance to be a part of the DMV community and look forward to connecting with such a storied, passionate Commanders fan base. I am eternally grateful to the York family, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, and the entire 49ers organization for an amazing experience. Throughout my career in the NFL, I've learned that successful organizations begin with a strong ownership group willing to commit the resources needed to foster a culture of winning. We have that here in Washington, yes sir, and it's my responsibility and privilege to carry out the mission of delivering a team that would ultimately compete for Super Bowls, plural. I know how much the Commanders mean to our fans, our owners, the legends who paved the way for this franchise. Completely agree. And the NFL. The work starts now. Beautiful. Couldn't have said it better myself. That is the perfect few sentences to just go ahead and say, hey, y'all, I'm happy to be here. be on the lookout. I'm about to drop some bombs in a press conference tomorrow, but let me give you this little sample right now. I mean, I love it. I love the vision. I love how much he wants to be here. Not only what he's going to do for us, but how much he wants to do that for us. Why he felt like, I mean, of course, on our side, we felt like we were lucky to get him, but on his side, he feels like he's lucky to get the chance to be a part of what we're growing right now. So it's mutually beneficial. It's amazing. Match made in heaven right there. I'm excited. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Please stiff arm that like button, stiff arm the subscription button, and stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Make sure you stay tuned for all of the content. Again, I'm working on a mock draft right now. I've been working on this since last night, but other things just keep happening. It keeps getting pushed back. I pretty much picked all the players I wanted, but now I'm just trying to go through, write my notes, figure out the weaknesses and strengths of each guy, and basically explain why I picked that player. And I'm also like, a part of this, when I do mock drafts, because we have so many weaknesses, this is kind of different from other years where we don't have as many weaknesses. Right now, it feels like we have a weakness in every position group somewhere. Like, we need to take a player everywhere, like mandatory. But there's certain, I mean, you only get so many first round picks, you only get so many second round picks and third round picks. So included in my mock draft, I will talk about some free agency moves that I'm assuming we made before we get to this mock draft, because boy, we need to address some positions in free agency before we even get to April, big time. So man, make sure y'all stay tuned for that and more content as well. Updates on every little thing the Commanders got going on, whether it's a report, official, source, rumor, whatever. And of course, I will have y'all a complete breakdown, have y'all backs on the update when Adam Peters has his full press conference starting at 2 p.m. tomorrow, as in Tuesday, January 16th. Stay tuned. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Appreciate y'all. I'm out.